Hello and welcome to Microsoft Excel tutorial from IT Army, and this is tutorial number 77. In this video we are going to talk about lookup function. In the previous video we talked about VLOOKUP and HLOOKUP. This lookup function is comparatively older and Microsoft recommends not to use it, but definitely it has got some advantage that I'm going to cover in this video. So let's get started. So this function has got two flavors, the array format and the vector format. Now the vector format is able to look up in a row or a column, and the array format is an array format can be used for a table. So first of all, I'm going to show you how to use the vector format, and then I'm going to show you how to use the array formula. So let's say that I have the list of products and their prices, and I say that my budget is $130. So give me the price of the product that I can afford from this list. So in this case I can use insert function. So let's go ahead with the insert function. I'm going to click on insert function or shift F3, and then I say I want to look for a lookup function and click on OK. So now I can see that you are getting the dialog box that's asking you that which flavor of lookup function you want to use. You want to do the lookup vector or you want to look up in the array. So I'm going to show you first of all the vector one. So just go ahead and click on OK. And now what you are getting is function arguments dialog box where it requires 3 arguments and 2 of them they are mandatory. So the first one is the lookup value, quite similar to the VLOOKUP and HLOOKUP. What is the value you are looking up for? So this is the value I'm looking up, comma, what is the lookup vector, that in which row or a column. So you can see it says that one row or one column. So I'm going to do a lookup in this entire column. So I select that column, and you can see immediately I started getting the result 100. And now when I click on OK, it's showing you 100. So what this is going to do is going to give you from this list the largest value that is lesser than or equal to the lookup value. So if I say that my budget is 210, then it's gonna give me that you can go ahead with the product whose price is 200. So this is how we can use the lookup in a single array. We have one more option available for this lookup function. Let's go ahead with that. So if I say insert function, I'm going to use lookup, and you can see over here it has got 3 arguments. The third argument was optional, that is a result vector. So in case if you want to get the corresponding value from some other column that may be located in left or right, or it may be horizontal or vertical, in any case it can give you that value. So let's see the lookup value I'm looking up for, again the same thing. Then lookup vector, I'm going to again look up in the same column, and then once it finds that corresponding value, that the product that is in my budget, this time I want to get the name of that product. So I'm going to select this column, right? Now I can see the advantage over here over the VLOOKUP. While in case of VLOOKUP, the lookup column should be the first column of the table, but in this case it could be anywhere on the left or on the right of the lookup column. So I can see as I have created the table, so it's not giving me the range, but it's giving me the table name, square bracket, and the column name. So now when I click on OK, and you are getting that product C whose price is 200 that you can afford. So if I say my budget is 400, or let's say my budget is 900, so gonna give me that 500. This is product D that you can afford. So this is how we can use the lookup vector function. Now let's talk about lookup array. So this is lookup array. So I say that I want to look up for employee ID and I want to get his hire date. So how this thing works is I say equals to, let's type in first of all the number, the employee ID I'm looking for. So I say I want to get the hire date of employee ID 4, enter, and now I'm going to use the lookup function. So I say equals to lookup, and this time I'm going to use the second one, or if you want to use the insert function you can go ahead with that also, lookup, okay. And then I'm saying that this time I'm going to use the second flavor of lookup function and click on OK. So this has got 2 arguments. First, quite similar to the previous flavor, lookup value, what you're looking up for. This is the value I'm looking up in this table, and this lookup value must be available in the first column of that array that you're going to select. Now what is the array? And then I select this entire array. Right now this is quite similar to VLOOKUP, but the thing that is missing over here in VLOOKUP, we were specifying that once you find this value 4 over here, which column value you are interested in, column number 2 or 3 or 4. but this by default gives you the last column value. So whatever table range you have selected, once it finds number 4, it's going to go to the last column of that array and then it's going to give you that value. So when I click on OK, and you are getting this date. Now this date is actually number format. I just need to format it as date. So Control Shift 3 and it got formatted. So you can say number 4, it is 22nd of April 2010. Now you'll be thinking that what if I want to get the name or login ID, I'm gonna use it. So let's see how to get the name. So I can say equals to lookup. This is the lookup value, comma, and this time rather than selecting the entire table, I'm gonna select only these 2 columns. And you can say it's created the table range because it's a table, so it says employee and all the columns from employee ID till the name of the employee. And I press enter, you get the name. Let's get the login ID also. Equals to lookup. This is the value I want to look up for, comma, and this is the table range. So in this case, this is the last column. I'll be getting the login ID from there. And I press enter and I get the login ID. So this is how we can use the lookup function. Now in case of VLOOKUP and HLOOKUP, we have 2 different flavors for vertical lookup and horizontal lookup. But in this case, this lookup function is intelligent enough to automatically do the vertical lookup as well as horizontal lookup. So let's see this example. Now here I have the same data, but it is laid horizontally. So in this case, the lookup function is gonna look up horizontally this way and it finds the corresponding record. It's gonna give me the value in other rows. So let's see if I say I want to get the details, the hire date of employee whose ID is 3, and then I say equals to lookup. This is the lookup value, comma, and this is my table array. And when I press enter, I just need to format Control Shift 3 and it gets formatted as a date. So you can see for employee number 3, we are getting 5th of April 2014. So now you might be wondering that how Excel recognizes that my data is aligned vertically or it's aligned horizontally. So in this case, how it works is that in case if the number of rows is more than the number of columns, it does the vertical lookup. In case if your number of columns is more than the number of rows, it goes for the horizontal lookup. So this is all the magic that we have. We don't have to separately use the VLOOKUP or HLOOKUP. It just automatically detects that thing. Now another drawback of lookup function is that it only does a range lookup. It is not like VLOOKUP or HLOOKUP where we had the last option available that you want to do the exact match or range match. It always goes for a range match. You don't have any option for looking exact value. So for that reason, whatever data you are putting over there in the first column, it should be arranged in ascending order. So that's all about lookup function. Hope you like this. If you have any other questions or comments, please post in the comment section below and don't forget to subscribe. See you in the next video.